What's up, everybody? It's Matt Garabedian, aka the Phenom Investor. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about a serious topic. The first cryptocurrency war and how that's impacting the globe and cryptocurrency as a whole. If it's the first time to my channel, thank you for being here. Please consider liking and subscribing as I drop weekly content on all things from business, investing, mindset, and how to be phenomenal. Guys, I appreciate it. Let's roll that clip. So it shouldn't come as any surprise to anyone that's paying attention that times in the entire world right now are very turbulent, chaotic, and crazy. If you rewind just a couple weeks ago, we started to see how cryptocurrency was being impacted at a price level by what was happening in the current events of the world news. Look at Canada as the first example, as the Freedom Convoy started to make their stand against the Canadian government. So fast forward here, March 1st, 2022, we're watching daily what's happening in Ukraine, and daily it's escalating into more and more of a violent, bloody conflict. We don't know where Russia stands. We believe Ukraine is fighting for their country, for their sovereignty, for their freedoms. And so a lot of the news is going back and forth talking about nuclear, Putin going nuclear, Ukraine defending against a crazy dictatorship. I'm not sure where the news is trying to paint this picture or this direction, because if you listen to my previous videos, I say that the news is designed to make catchy headlines, to get more clicks, to get more viewers. It also has a drastic effect on the way that currency is now moving through this war. And this is why I'm calling it the first cryptocurrency war, and probably not the last that we are going to see. So let's break this down. The first thing that we have to look at is what are the detriments, or what are some of the sanctions that are being put in place by the United Nations against Russia. The first thing is Russia has now been eliminated from being able to be a part of the SWIFT payment system. So if you're unfamiliar with the SWIFT payment system, essentially it is a payment system that handles 11,000 financial institutions and companies around the world. So think of SWIFT as a Gmail for banks. In essence, it's a messaging system for money transfers. Now, Russia is being sanctioned and are not going to be able to use the SWIFT payment system to do general business. This affects not only how the government is flowing with transactions, money, items that they are paying for, but it also affects the general businesses in Russia. So in light of this sanction, we have seen that the ruble fell about 30% against the dollar on Monday, making it worth less than 1 US cent. After the US, European Union, and the United Kingdom announced moves to block some Russian banks from the SWIFT international payment system, Russia used its massive foreign currency reserves. The system is used to move billions of dollars, as I mentioned, so we're seeing the economic effect happen immediately when countries go to war. So what I believe, as a reaction to the falling value of the ruble, the SWIFT payment sanctions, and the general uneasiness and unrest in the Russian economy, I believe we're seeing money flow into Bitcoin as a result. And we've seen since Tuesday, it has jumped 6% in price. So could one argue that people are seeing cryptocurrency as being the safe haven in areas of the world that are in turmoil? Let's also look at it from the Ukrainian perspective. So if you look at how this is affecting the Ukrainian side of the conflict, there's probably more panic as they're the country that's being attacked, obviously. So you're seeing citizens making a run on the Ukrainian ATMs, pulling out as much cash as they possibly can. That's causing a widespread panic and concern Notably and obviously that if you saw that happen here in the United States, where everyone started showing up to their banks, long lines around the corner, everyone pulling out as much cash as they possibly can, that would cause a chain reaction and have a lot of people very concerned. So the citizens of Ukraine are also using it as a potential safe haven to cross borders. I saw an article where one person paid for a car in Bitcoin and was able to evade the war because no one was standing around at the local car lot waiting for him to get processed for a loan or possibly waiting for him to go to the bank and get cash. It was an instantaneous payment and gave that person a right to leave the country, preserve their life, and flee to a country that has more safety and freedoms. So here's my thoughts. Again, these are only my opinions, and this may seem off the wall to you, but I believe that with everything that's going on, there could be some ulterior motives going on with what is happening with World War III. As you see what's happening, as I explained, the Russia-Ukrainian standoff. We're also seeing reports that China flew over 9 military jets over Taiwan. As you know, they've had conflict. China has been wanting to take over Taiwan for many years. So this could be a point of entry depending on how the world reacts to Putin, where Xi Jinping could look at the situation and see that this could be his opening and could take advantage and move accordingly to start another conflict. So we could potentially be seeing 2 to 3 different conflicts arise simultaneously, which could put us into an actual World War III scenario. We definitely don't want to see that because in this day and age with the nuclear superpowers, it would get very, very ugly. And I don't want to see war in my lifetime and certainly not in my children's lifetime. But with everything that has been going on over the last several years, I'm having less and less confidence in our government to be able to hold this all together. I believe that the United States it's being seen in a weaker moment. It's not as strong as it once was. I believe the leadership has definitely purposely created division. It's created a lot of uncertainty, a lot of drama, a lot of issues that people believe are real, but I believe have been made up by the perpetual lies that the media gives continually, by the lack of leadership in the White House, by the fact that there's so much division amongst citizens here that we really don't have any clear direction. We also see the fact that inflation is at an all-time high. And if you just simply start looking around, you could see more people are continually saying that the dollar is on its way to eventually collapsing and becoming worthless. It's happened before. It wouldn't be the first time in history a currency was overprinted, oversupplied, overpopulated, and eventually came to zero because it could not pay its debts. It became worthless. That is basically the fiat system. And that is why I believe many people are moving their monies into cryptocurrency. It's a fact right now. By keeping your dollars in the bank account, you're essentially losing money. It is definitely losing value every single day it sits in your bank account. Inflation is reported to be somewhere around 7 to 10%. I believe that number is well over 15, possibly over 20% in actuality. So what is the solution? Do we continue to print more and more and continue to inflate it? That certainly has not got us in the correct, it certainly has not got us in the right position to begin with. So continuing to print more money is definitely not the answer. I think we're going to see the CDBC. If you're not sure what that is, that means it is the Central Bank Digital Currency. It's an acronym that I believe we will see in actuality come to fruition by 2025 to 2030. This is something that actually I'm looking here. Bank of America believes the U.S. will likely move forward with its own digital currency, which will be again backed by nothing because we were taken off the gold standard. So it is another asset or fiat that is not backed by any type of tangible asset like gold. So we will be moving to a digital dollar. And I'll take it a step further for you conspiracy theories out there. That digital dollar could very well be programmed to a social credit score, which we already see are happening in China, where if you're not a good citizen, you don't have the right opinions, you are too outspoken via social media, it's possible that that digital dollar will be tied to a social credit score, which will then regulate when you can travel, what you could spend your money on, how often you could spend your money, and various different measures and possible guidelines that will restrict you from having more and more freedoms. Again, I've seen so many crazy things the last couple of years. I'm not ruling it out. I definitely pay attention to what could possibly be coming as more government control is implemented by more restriction, more media coverage showing that the powers that be are continuing to become more power hungry and wanting to control more. So for me, that is definitely on the table. It may not come to fruition in the next 5 to 7 years, but it's definitely something that is on the table. So I'll continue to put out content relating to business, to mindset, cryptocurrency news, and all things being phenomenal as always. Guys, I appreciate you guys being here, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.